for one final time. Welcome back, everyone, to Formula 1 2020, your race preview for the season finale, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. What a season it has been already. In the background, one of the most iconic images of the 2020 season. It's been a wild ride, but we've made it. Round 17 of the season. We've done 2 races in Austria, 2 races in Silverstone. We've been to 3 races in Italy, Monza, Mugello, the return to Imola, the Turkish Grand Prix, the Nürburgring, Portimao. It's been an incredible season, but finally, we've made it to the final weekend of the season. There's lots to look forward to in this race, but quite a bit to be sad about. So let's crack on with the rest of the preview. Last time we visited Abu Dhabi in 2019, things weren't quite as carnage and business was resumed as normal. Your race winner, Lewis Hamilton, Verstappen and Leclerc joined him on the podium. It was a Mercedes 1-2 in qualifying. Will we see a similar story this time out? Last time in 2020, it was just mental. Sergio Perez, a driver going through so much in his Formula 1 career at the moment, securing his first ever Formula 1 victory. Esteban Ocon for Renault scoring his first ever podium, and Lance Stroll making it a Racing Point 1-3. What a race it was. George Russell making his debut for Mercedes, managed to start on the front row of the grid alongside Valtteri Bottas, Pietro Fittipaldi and Jack Aitken making their Formula 1 debuts as well. It was just an all-round bonkers Formula 1 race weekend. And after that crazy race and heading into the final race of the season, this is how your Drivers' and Constructors' Championships are looking, with Lewis Hamilton already crowned your 7-time world champion. Valtteri Bottas and Max Verstappen are still very much in a fight for second place in the standings. It's going to mean Verstappen's going to have a pretty awesome race weekend, but it's not impossible. That fight for third, Sergio Perez, after winning last time out, is in prime position to take P4, but Ricciardo will want to change that. Leclerc, Sainz, Albon, Norris, so close between the 5 of them. Lance Stroll rounds out your top 10. Pierre Gasly, your race winner earlier on this season, dropped into the bottom half after last weekend's race. He'll want to try and climb back up into the top 10 to end off the season. Ocon is comfortably in front of Sebastian Vettel. Seb cannot get any higher than 13th place. Really shows the kind of season him and Ferrari have had in 2020. Danny Kvyat can beat Sebastian Vettel. It's been a crazy up and down year for the Russian too. This could be his final weekend in Formula 1. Hülkenberg 15th, Raikkonen and Giovinazzi on 4 apiece in 16th and 17th. Russell scoring his first ever Formula 1 points last time out is 18th. Grosjean, Magnussen, the only 2 that have scored in the rest of the field. Latifi, Aitken and Fittipaldi all yet to do so. And in the Constructors, this is the fight to look out for. Mercedes champions, Red Bull P2, but that fight for third is well and truly on. 3 different teams, 3 different manufacturers, Racing Point, McLaren and Renault, separated all of them by 20 points. It's going to need a mega weekend from Renault, a pretty strong weekend from McLaren. But last time out, Racing Point won a Grand Prix, so never say never in the 2020 season. Ferrari, they're going to have to settle with a best finish of 6th, AlphaTauri 7th, Alfa Romeo, Haas and Williams could all change in the final race of the season. Last time out, your Formula 2 championship came to a conclusion with Mick Schumacher, your world champion, Callum Ilott just 14 points behind, and Yuki Tsunoda rounding out the top 3, just 1 point behind Callum Ilott. Schwartzman is 4th, Nikita Mazepin, future Haas driver, P5. Zhou, Lundgaard, Delatraz, Dragovic and Giotto rounded out the top 10. Your tyre choice for this weekend's Grand Prix: the C3, the C4 and the C5 tyres. We don't normally expect crazy strategies in Abu Dhabi, but if there's a safety car or 2, maybe a 2-stop, pushing a 3-stop if people are feeling adventurous. And your weather: to be expected, it's Abu Dhabi, 26 and 25 degrees across the weekend, with no more than a 3% chance of rain across Saturday and Sunday. For one final time, Shall we do it? It's time for your hot lap for the Formula 1 2020 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Welcome everyone to your final hot lap of the Formula 1 2020 season on board with your class of 2020, starting off with the only team to score a point so far. Could this weekend be the first time in 2020 for Williams as we transition through turns 2 and 3 into Haas? What a difficult season it's been for the American team. Alfa Romeo for the end of Sector 1, Turn 5 and into the hairpin of Turn 6, of course retaining both drivers for next season, Giovinazzi and Raikkonen, 4 apiece as it stands at the moment. Moving on to Alpha Tower as we charge down to Turn 7 and the second hairpin. A race winner this season with Pierre Gasly. A team not so successful, Ferrari. Charles Leclerc leading the team to 2 podiums as we go through the hairpin of Turn 7 and the quick chicane of Turn 8. Renault. Daniel Ricciardo, what a sensation he's been in 2020. 2 podiums for him, Ocon a podium last time out as we slowly down towards the final DRS section and into Turn 3, our most recent race winner in 2020, the Racing Point and Sergio Perez. The last weekend we'll see that pink livery in Formula 1. McLaren up next, 2 podiums for them. Could they be crowned best of the rest this weekend? They're going to have a good one. Just 1 race win for Red Bull in 2020. It's been a difficult season, Max Verstappen excelling, but they couldn't match these boys. Your world champions Mercedes, the black livery, the iconic livery, Hamilton your world champion, Mercedes your constructors champion, and that is your last hot lap of the 2020 season. Heading on over then to the newsroom. Not a lot to talk about in our final preview of the season, but a huge story coming your way at the front of the field with your 2020 world champion Lewis Hamilton returning for the final race of the season. The British driver was able to get better in that week and a bit since the Sakir Grand Prix. He will be replacing George Russell, who had such a difficult time of it last weekend in the Mercedes. Really did himself proud, but Lewis is back to prove to everyone just how good he is in that W11, giving us the opportunity to see Lewis in this world record beating car one last time. Fernando Alonso will return in the young driver post-season test in Abu Dhabi. Of course, the Spaniard is already set to make his return next season for Renault or Alpine, as they will be rebranded to. He is also making an appearance this very weekend in his World Championship winning Renault from the 2005 season. We've also got confirmed both Mercedes boys, Nick de Vries and Stoffel van Dorn Formula E drivers will be taking part for Mercedes over the course of the testing period. There are plenty of names that are being confirmed, that are being changed, so just keep your eye if you are at all interested in post-season testing, but I wouldn't worry. It doesn't really mean a lot, and usually it's not broadcast to the public as well. And finally, a weekend to remember, the end of the road for so many drivers. Kevin Magnussen, could this be his final Formula 1 race weekend, the 100th Grand Prix for Haas F1? It's been a crazy season. He would love to go out with a bang. His teammate Pietro Fittipaldi is going into his second ever Formula 1 race weekend, but it could also be his final race in Formula 1. Carlos Sainz will don the blue overalls in the papaya orange McLaren for one final time this weekend before moving to Ferrari for 2020. We've also got the likes of Daniel Ricciardo, his final race weekend in the yellow and black of Renault. Sergio Perez, not only could this be his last race with Racing Point and the Aston Martin team, but also it could be his last ever race in Formula 1. I hope that is certainly not the case. Sebastian Vettel will don the red of Ferrari for one final time in this weekend's Grand Prix. An iconic duo coming to an end before he moves to Aston Martin. And 2 drivers were a little bit unsure about. Danny Kvyat could be stepping into a Formula 1 car for the final time this weekend for AlphaTauri. No confirmation on his seat for next year, but it's looking very likely it could be Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri in 2021. And finally, Alex Albon. It's been an up and down season. Could this be his final race weekend in a Formula 1 car full stop? We'll have to wait and see. And that is it for your newsroom. So for one final time in 2020, we'll move over to my favourite part of the preview of the weekend, really. It's prediction time for the final race of the season, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. In a moment, I will ask for your predictions to throw in the comment section down below. And I've gone bold. You've got to, for one final race of this utterly unpredictable and bizarre season. So despite I've gone Hamilton, Bottas and Verstappen in qualifying, in the Grand Prix, things get messy. Alex Albon will claim his first Formula 1 victory. Lewis Hamilton will claim a solid P2 with Max Verstappen P3. Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez round out your top 5. And as always, if you want to give your predictions down below, follow this grid. In quali, who's going to be pole, who's going to be front row, and who's going to be the biggest shock? And in the race, who will be victorious come Sunday? What other two drivers will be on the podium? First retirement, driver of the day, and best of the rest. Looking forward to seeing some of those and just how wacky they are in the comment section below. And before we go, Fantasy League time. It's all to play for at the top of the standings. I'm just hoping I can stay in the top 100. We had a good weekend last time out, and this is how my team is looking for the final race of the year. Mercedes, Hamilton, Ricciardo, the two Racing Point boys, and George Russell. And screenshot time at the ready. Here is your schedule for this weekend's events. Now, already, you may be aware this weekend schedule, from my point of view, is a little bit out of shape. Why are we uploading on a Friday? Of course, you would have already seen Practice 1 and Practice 2 this afternoon. I have not. I am not here this weekend, so things, my end, are going to be a little bit different. No qualifying report, no practice report. It will have to be a race review on Monday evening. Sadly, I've got more important things to focus on this weekend. I know it's frustrating. I know it's the final race weekend of the year, and it's probably going to be one of the better ones because that's how Sod's Law works. However, practice 3, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, qualifying 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and your final race of the Formula 1 2020 season, 1 o'clock on Sunday. And that is it from me. It's been a crazy year. Content will not stop. I'll be back Monday evening for your race review for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. But if you did enjoy, feel free to stick around over the winter as we begin to dissect this mad year and start to look forward to what is going to be an awesome 2021 season. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all in the next one.